Thank you very much. You may be seated. Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Your Excellency, Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, Governor of Kwara State and Chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, Chief of Staff to the President, Gbajabiamila. Let me, at this point, acknowledge the Chairman of the Senate Committee on Livestock Development, Senator Musa Mustafa, and other senators and members of the National Assembly here present. Honorable ministers, and I acknowledge the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, the Chief of Defense Staff. Your Excellency, let me acknowledge the presence here of the Chairman of the Governing All Progressives Congress, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, former Governor of Kano State, the co-chairman of the Presidential Livestock Reforms Implementation Committee, Professor Atahiru Jega, and other members of the committee, development partners, representatives of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, His Royal Highness, Dr. Yahya Abubakar, the Etunupe Coordinating Chairman of the National Council of Traditional Rulers of Nigeria, or other royal fathers who are here present, distinguished participants, stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen. It was just in July, barely 3 months ago, that the Presidential Livestock Reforms Implementation Committee was inaugurated to drive what's been described as unprecedented reforms in Nigeria's livestock industry and reposition it as a critical development sector. Now, the caliber of the membership of the committee speaks to the seriousness and importance the Tinubu administration attaches to this initiative. The committee's work really, as you would say, was cut out for it, given the multidimensional angles to issues of livestock in particular and Nigeria's development in general, as you will hear from the discussions here today. Today, we're at the Stakeholders Consultative Workshop on Livestock Reforms in Nigeria, and to set the tone for this meeting, let me respectfully invite the co-chairman of the Implementation Committee, Professor Atahiru Jega, to now step forward and welcome you to this event. Let's appreciate Professor Jega as he comes in.
Your Excellency, Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, permit me to stand on the already established protocol. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure and delight that I welcome you all, Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, to this stakeholders consultative workshop on livestock reforms in Nigeria. We are grateful to God Almighty for bringing us all here safely for this event. And on behalf of the committee, I thank you all for accepting our invitation and sparing time to participate in this two-day event. As you would all recall, Mr. President inaugurated the Presidential Livestock Reforms Implementation Committee on July 19, 2024. Given his perceptive understanding of the remarkable value addition to our country of the opportunities which such reforms would unlock and unfold, Mr. President decided to personally chair the committee and in his wisdom appointed my humble self as the co-chair along with 23 other experts, stakeholders in the livestock value chain, and many important experienced personalities. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, unlocking the potentials in this long-neglected livestock sector across the value chain and reforming and improving its entire ecosystem would be immensely beneficial to virtually everybody, everywhere throughout this country, in terms of, among other things, new business opportunities, generation of employment and incomes, especially for our teeming youth, contribution to food and nutrition security, and remarkable value addition to our country's GDP. Significantly, reforming and repositioning the livestock sector would also help us to mitigate the perennial conflicts between farmers and herders, which have bedeviled the sector with negative consequences to peaceful coexistence, community relations, and beneficial productive activities. The committee submitted an exception report to Mr. President on September 19, 2024, which is now under consideration. It is in this context that this stakeholders' consultative engagement is considered necessary and desirable. The objective is to, within the two-day period of the workshop, obtain the additional input to the reform process and the buy-in from a range of critical stakeholders drawn from the Nigerian livestock value chains and the ecosystem. We have invited for participation in this consultative workshop 350 selected critical stakeholders from all the 6 geopolitical zones. Indeed, there is representation from all the states in the Nigerian Federation. Obviously, in a country as vast as Nigeria, with a population of over 200 million, there are many critical stakeholders who ought to be here, but who regrettably are not here for many unavoidable reasons. Our hope is that engagement with critical stakeholders would be a continuous process, and all hands need to be on deck to ensure a well-considered reform process and its seamless and successful implementation. Mr. President, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I must say that the work of the committee has gotten this far and has been adequately facilitated by many officials of government and the institutions and the MDAs of government. We thank them all, but in particular, I would like to single out those whom Mr. President directed to give support to us and who did us a marvelous encouragement and support. These are the Minister of Planning and the Budget, the Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, the Minister of Information, and of course, last but not least, the National Security Advisor. I must also indicate our appreciation as a committee to Mr. President for the leadership, for the guidance, for the support and the inspiration given to us in order to do this responsibility. All of us have taken this responsibility as a national duty. It is something that should have been done a long time ago. This is the opportunity, and all stakeholders need to join hands and work together to ensure that we achieve the very clear objectives which can add tremendous value to the development of our country. Let me at this point once again express our sincere thanks and appreciation to all of you who are gathered here today for accepting our invitation and joining us for this event. We have reserved special appreciation for Mr. President for his support and encouragement and the sparing time to be personally here with us today. Of course, in spite of his very busy schedule. This is a clear testimony to the premium Mr. President places on the livestock development reforms and their successful implementation in our country. Mr. President, thank you very much for this. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to fruitful deliberations. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, Professor Tahiru Jega, co-chairman of the Presidential Livestock Reforms Committee. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we've heard, more than 350, that's counting the critical stakeholders who will be brainstorming at this workshop. And so, let me at this point invite the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, who will speak on behalf of the ministers. Let's appreciate him. Minister.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, permit me at this point to stand on the existing protocol earlier laid down. I am deeply honored to stand on behalf of my colleagues, honorable ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to address you today on this landmark consultative stakeholders workshop on the livestock reforms in Nigeria, to appreciate the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his bold actions, exemplary leadership, and unparalleled commitment to driving sustainable development across all sectors of the Nigeria's economy, particularly in agriculture and especially in the livestock sector. Today's gathering is a testament to our collective resolve to address the critical challenges facing the livestock industry in Nigeria. As we all know, livestock farming plays a pivotal role in our food security, nutrition, and livelihood of millions of Nigerians. This consultative forum offers us a unique opportunity to chart a new course for the livestock sector through comprehensive reforms that are inclusive, innovative, and sustainable along the commodity value chains. Special commendation also goes to the Presidential Livestock Reforms Implementation Committee, co-chaired by Professor Atahiru Jega, for the great work done so far as documented in 120 reforms initiatives and over 3,000 key performance indicators as contained in the inception report of the committee. Additionally, the presence of all stakeholders today from the public sector, private sector, civil society, academia, and traditional institutions is another unique milestone of the committee. It is noteworthy that Mr. President is the first Nigerian leader to host this type of high-level event to engage directly with the livestock actors across the value chain inside the State House. This is indeed significant, historic, and symbolic. The diverse experiences and perspectives of stakeholders will enrich the ongoing transformation of the sector and help shape policies that will create Nigeria's sustainable livestock economy that is globally competitive. While wishing the committee a successful workshop, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security shall continue to have a result-oriented handshake with the new Federal Ministry of Livestock Development. We are irreversibly committed to collectively unlocking Nigeria's 33 trillion naira livestock economy for the prosperity of Nigeria and Nigerians. We thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this workshop couldn't have come at a better time, and just as we all know, with a brand new Federal Ministry of Livestock Development beginning to take shape from the pronouncements of Mr. President barely 24 hours ago. At this point in time, may we invite the chairman of the Senate Committee on Livestock Development, Senator Musa Mustafa, who will now give us a brief message on this workshop.
Your Excellency, Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, our Chairman of the party, Alhaji Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, Your Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State, the Co-Chairman of Livestock Reform, Professor Atahiru Jega, Your Excellency, permit me to stand on the established protocol. It is my honor to be here today at this very important consultative workshop on livestock development organized by Presidential Livestock Reform Implementation Committee. I would like to begin by thanking His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for hosting us in the presidential villa, and I appreciate the effort of all organizers and stakeholders present for your continued commitment and improving our nation's agricultural sector, particularly the livestock farming. The topic we are here to discuss today is of critical importance. Livestock farming has been a long and integral part of Nigeria's agricultural landscape, providing sustainable livelihood and cultural identity to millions of Nigerians. The livestock sector is a crucial sector contributing to 15% to the GDP and providing employment to about 87 million Nigerian farmers. That is about 36% of the population. Livestock contributes significantly to Nigeria's economy, playing a vital role in our gross domestic product, the GDP, creating employment, and most importantly, food security. Currently, livestock farming accounts for a sizable portion of our agricultural sector, contributing to the GDP. It employs millions of Nigerians, particularly in the rural areas, providing income, nutrition, and stable way of life. As we gather here today, I urge each one of us to take active role in driving livestock development in Nigeria. Let us invest in this sector, let us support our local farmers, and let us be part of the solution. Whether through public-private partnership, supporting innovation, or advocating for policies that protect and promote livestock farming in line with Mr. President's renewed hope agenda. Additionally, investing in livestock development is not just about boosting Nigeria's economy, it is about securing our future. By addressing the challenges, leveraging opportunities, and fostering collaborations, we can transform the livestock sector into a powerhouse that will uplift our communities and provide lasting benefits to generations yet to come. As the saying goes, the greatness of a nation lies in its agriculture. Together, let us unlock this greatness that lies within the Nigeria's livestock sector. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you.
Chairman, Senate Committee on Livestock Development, Senator Musa Mustafa, delivering his message. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations is a worthy development partner in this initiative. I now invite Tawfiq Brahima, Emergency Operations Specialist of the FAO, the United Nations, to address us.
Good morning, and Your Excellency, Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on existing protocol. I'm speaking today on behalf of the Agriculture Donor Working Group in Nigeria. And on behalf of the donor group in Nigeria, I am honored and privileged to extend our warmest greetings and best wishes for a successful stakeholder consultative workshop on livestock reforms. Mr. President, this gathering today marks a significant step towards enhancing the livestock sector, which is critical for the economy, food security, and livelihoods across the nation. The collective expertise present here today underscores the importance of the collaboration and innovation in overcoming the challenges faced by this sector. The Agricultural Working Donor Group in Nigeria recognizes the government's commitment to transforming this sector, and we are proud to support initiatives that foster sustainable development and resilience. It is our shared goal to help ensure that the livestock sector reaches its full potential and contributing significantly to the nation's GDP. As we discuss the reforms today and as discussion unfolds, we encourage open dialogue and creative thinking, and together our insight and expertise will be invaluable in creating policies and strategies that will drive meaningful change within the sector. Together, we can build a robust framework for reforms that empower stakeholders and enhance the Nigerian livestock sector. Thank you for your dedication, Mr. President, and we look forward to a fruitful discussion and supporting the outcomes that will emerge from this workshop. Thank you very much, and God bless you all, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the target of all development initiatives is the people. The people make the communities, and the fathers of the communities are critical stakeholders in this enterprise. After all, the people are guided by their leaders at all levels, but primarily the ones they have recognized and chosen themselves as royalty and the fathers, the traditional institutions. And therefore, it is meet at this event to now invite His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Yahya Abubakar, the HNUP and Coordinating Chairman, National Council of Traditional Rulers of Nigeria, who will now address this gathering on behalf of the traditional rulers who are the custodians of the people's culture and traditions. Bagadoji.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Your Excellency, Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, the Republic of Nigeria, Jagaban Borgu, and Jagaban Nigeria Gabadea. Zaki. Please, I want to appeal to stand on the existing protocol already established. I really respect the established protocol. Thank you. Mr. President, we are here today to witness a very, very great milestone in your efforts to move the country forward. We appreciate you. We commend you, and we thank you very much. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to guide you, give you the strength and wherewithal to pilot the affairs of this great nation, Nigeria. Thank you indeed. We want also this opportunity of these livestock reforms will go a long way to bring about prosperity to the people while encouraging peace and security, particularly food security, qualitative food security that can go to our people. Also, on our part, the transition institution, we shall uphold the tenets that will bring about cohesion, peace, and stability in our domains, especially between the herders and farmers. Those have been very, very challenging
crises that have been going on. Inshallah, this one will go a long way to resolving such challenges. We shall also mobilize our people to take active part in the livestock sector developmental initiatives for the overall interest of our great country, Nigeria. On behalf of all the members of this institution, traditional rulers, all the zones of Nigeria, I appreciate you, we commend you, and pray Almighty Allah continue to guide you and give you the wisdom and strength to pilot the affairs of this great nation. Thank you, Mr. President. God bless.
Thank you so very much, Your Royal Highness, the Echunupe Coordinating Chairman of the National Council of Traditional Rulers of Nigeria. Thank you, Royal Highness. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Abdurrahman Abdurrazak is not just the governor of Kwara State, but he is the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum. And as we've heard, this initiative is all through Nigeria. The buy-in is by all the states of the Federation. And so to speak on behalf of the governors, let me invite His Excellency, Governor Abdurrazak, to now address this workshop. Your Excellency.
His Excellency, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces. The SGF, Senator George Akume, the Chief of Staff to the President, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, members of the National Assembly here present, members of the Federal Executive Council here present, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, the CDS, our APC Chairman, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, the co-chairman of the Presidential Livestock Reforms Implementation Committee, Professor Atahiru Jega, and other members of the committee, the Echunupe, Badogeji, and other royal fathers here present, participants, stakeholders here present, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank Mr. President for deepening the effort to achieve food security through livestock reforms. I want to assure you 100% buy-in of subnationals to make this a success. This is not just about food security, it's also about national security. We've had several policies, programs before, not policies, we have several programs before, like the RUGA program, the National Livestock Transformation Program. We've not achieved anything with them. They're just files in the Ministry of Agriculture. What we're doing here today is laying the foundation of a better future. For us in the states and the local governments, that's where the land is. We have to make efforts to make land available, to make the federal government's policy a success. For us in Kwara, what we have done is we've seen that over the years, herdsmen roam across our countryside. They've been there for hundreds of years, but they never at any moment sought to seek a certificate of occupancy. So they believe, rightfully to their beliefs, that land and water belongs to God. So they're not interested in your C of O or right of O. But this is where we need to start changing and educating them to say, you should have a C of O. In pursuing and deepening that effort, we worked with the French Treasury, the French government, who funded, free of charge, a sustainable ranching project, which will be based on a ranch that goes back to the First Republic. In Nigeria today, we still have a lot of ranch dating back to the First Republic, which are moribund and are not being used, just nobody's using them. Now, this policy also will come out to show how we can develop these ranches. So with the aid from the French government, we've developed a policy where we have sustainable agriculture. Herdsmen don't need to roam about again, and we'll be issuing C of O to some of them who agree to settle. Now, we spend billions in importing dairy products. If our herdsmen continue to roam, we will continue to produce 1 liter of milk per cattle. If we make them sedentary, they will begin to produce as much as 15, 20 liters per day. We have the breed, like the Bokolo breed, that can produce as much as 5, 6 liters, but because we're not, go to Europe, South Africa, all over the world where they have high dairy production, you see that the cows live like the upper class. They don't need to roam about. They don't need to do anything other than eat, drink, and sleep. But ours roam from Karanamuda to Ota. And by the time they get there, they're not going to give you any milk. So this is part of what my understanding is for this reform will happen. But, I'll urge the president to continue to be hands-on on this program, because when it started, the president was not on this committee, but he stood up and said, I'll be co-chairman. And also, let me thank the president for being here today, despite all the challenges. We could have just said, Professor Jega, go and handle it, but he's here with us today. It shows the seriousness. The conflicts we're having all over the place, if we do not resolve through this reform herdsmen issue, we will continue to have conflicts there. Today is not the beginning of conflicts. In the West, in America, they had conflicts, but the government of America made deliberate policy to push the herdsmen to the West, Texas area. So that's the basket of meat and dairy production in America. Each state will be urged to create areas for meat and dairy production. And we can't say we're forcing Abia State to do ranching. No. We know the states that have the land. We know the regions that the weather and climate is sustainable for them. So on this note, on behalf of the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, I'm the governor of Gombe State, I'll be inviting the co-chairman, Professor Terry Jega, to Kaduna on Monday to come and address the Northern Governors Forum to deepen the discussion. Once again, I urge Mr. President to continue to be hands-on on all your policies as you do. I thank you very much for creating the Agricultural Ministry, taking it from a department to make sure, to creating the Livestock Ministry, taking it from a department that was before hardly had a budget, and when they have budgets, it's not even implemented, to the forefront today. So kudos to you, Mr. President. Inshallah will also succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum. Indeed, as Governor Abdulrazak said, this goes beyond food security. It is national security, national cohesion, and peaceful coexistence. And now, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I invite the Secretary and member of the Presidential Livestock Reforms Implementation Committee, Professor Mohamed Kuteyahaya, to step forward and formally acknowledge your presence here and say a big thank you. Professor.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, let me stand on the existing protocol, but I wish to thank the Kwara State Governor and Chairman of Nigerian Governors Forum. You have done half of my job because I wanted to thank, just like an elephant, if you touch the ear, you think that's the biggest. If you touch the tusk, you think that's the biggest. But how do you thank a man making history with his commitment, vision, pragmatism, support, and palpable vibration in terms of policy? Mr. President, we cannot thank you enough. I wish to say that part of the elephant is the caliber of men and women in the committee, establishing of the Ministry of Livestock Development, posting a new permanent secretary to the ministry, and just 24 hours ago, we have a substantive Minister of Livestock Development. And indeed, the committee is not only proud to appreciate this elephant with a strategic building allocated to the ministry in the central business district of Abuja. Mr. President, sir, you did not only allocate this building, but you directed Mr. Infrastructure to renovate and furnish. We thank Barrister Wike is working. No more Wike is wicked. So, Mr. President, thank you, sir. And on a very serious note, sir, this co-chairman said something, and I needed to say it once again on behalf of the entire members of our committee, that we couldn't have achieved your mandate without your foot soldiers. Number one, Senator Abubakar Atiku, the Honorable Minister of Planning, Chief Wale Edu, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Mohammed Idris, the Honorable Minister of Information, and all agencies under his ministry. Senator Abubakar Kyari was our host when we all started, before somebody who is silent, smooth, charismatic, but emphatic, the pillar of the committee, the unsung hero of your mandate, the National Security Advisor, Malo Nuribadu. We cannot thank you enough, sir, because I don't think we'll be here today if not for Malo Nuribadu. So thank you for pushing us and for believing in Mr. President. Thank you, sir. The man who sowed the seed between 2023 and July 2024, our own Dr. Abla Umar Ganduje, sir. The seed you have planted, sir, is germinating like an oak tree. And Mr. President has finished the job for you. And so therefore, as the Kwara governor said, we have already gotten a farmer governor in Niger State. I'm looking forward to, and we are all looking forward to, more livestock farmer governors in the years to come. Our royal father, sir, Bagori, within 24 hours, you brought all the traditional rulers from across the 6 geopolitical zones. We thank you for your mobilization and your belief in what Mr. President is doing and for the support. The Chief of Defense Staff, sir, would like to extend through you to all the security agencies for the cooperation and support we have gotten so far, and we believe this is just the beginning. Mr. President, sir, we thank you, and we thank you again. May God bless you and bless Nigeria. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much, Secretary of the Presidential Livestock Reforms Implementation Committee, Professor Mohammed Kutaya Haya. Thank you. And now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we come to the moment that would listen to the one who is behind all of this and all the efforts to restore to glory what we all knew about our nation, our dear nation, Nigeria. Join me as we warmly appreciate His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR.
Please have your seats. Thank you very much. Well, let me copy the others standing on the existing protocol. Well, I must recognize the presence of the chairman of National Council of Traditional Rulers, Baba Rankadede. Thank you very much, always for doing it well. And then the co-chairman of our committee, Professor Ataru Jega, the chairman of the Governor's Forum. Thank you very much for that inspiring commitment to our country. I'm delighted to join you at this consultative workshop dedicated to one of the most critical aspects of our nation's development. The livestock sector is a very important sector. We are going to give it all it needs to bring value to our country. Stakeholders, I stand here assuring you that you will not regret the collaboration and the investment coming into this sector. It's about time that we do it right. A country of over 200 million people, I cannot serve our children 1 pint of milk in the classroom per day. We didn't see the investment opportunity. We didn't see the economy in the past. Now we're now seeing it. We must work together to realize the dream. Let me first of all, again, congratulate the Presidential Livestock Reform Implementation Committee, co-chairman, the secretary. Their dedication and commitment is very, very reassuring. Our shared mission is clear. We aim to transform the livestock from its current subsistence model into a thriving commercialize the industry like other developing world. Yes, we can do it. We can bring prosperity to our people. We can feed our children. We can, from grass, we can achieve grace. We can contribute so much to the Nigerian gross domestic product and provide decent jobs. Abraham, thank you, Your Excellency, for the assurance of CFO and other needs from other areas. And I know a student with that size of land in Niger State, you can accommodate many investments. We didn't see the cold room investment. We didn't see that opportunity before now, but it's coming. We are going to give it all it takes. I assure you, we will succeed together. The long neglect as well on our country's import bill between 1.2 to 1.5 billion is being spent to import dairy food and all of that. Then what are we doing with the size of land? The opportunity there, we can see. And when I inaugurated the Presidential Livestock Reform Committee, I didn't see the path clearly until they start working. Thank you, Atairo Jega. And thank you, my friend, Omar Ganduje. We will create this environment where the business will thrive. And Danfulani, NSA. I equally thank the FCT for their contribution, and I hope the office is getting ready. It is our duty to our children and future generations to get this right. Let's unite in our effort from reform to realization of our dream and ambition. I stand before you fully committed to this. Investors, foreign investors, are already asking questions. How will we collaborate? The committee and the ministry and I will do everything possible to attract them. We can create a vivid picture of the future we want to see, the future of our country, the economic opportunity for our children, And this, we can say, God bless Nigeria. God bless you all. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. President. Your Excellency, just a quick announcement. As soon as the President takes his leave, there'll be a short tea break, and other personalities here are encouraged to visit the exhibition stand. Just a few moments. There'll be a break, after which we'll reconvene for the technical sessions at 12:30. For now, we rise. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. Once again, a reminder that the technical session reconvene in a short while from now.